It's unknown where the murder took place, as it's reported there was not much blood present at the scene. New day, new walk, and today I'm off for a stroll in East London with TV superstar Mr. Tim Lovejoy. And we're going to go and trace the steps of celebrity murderer Jack the Ripper. Tim's choice. Hi Tim.
Robbie, how are you?
Very well, thank you for coming for a walk with me. You're the first person I think who's picked their own walk route.
Yeah, well, I thought if I'm going to go for a walk with Robbie, I want to do something exciting, and I've always been fascinated with the idea that people want to go on the Jack the Ripper walk, because the reality of it is he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
He's a murderer, and people think, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll go, and I'm sure it's we're going to find out, I'm sure it's a lovely way of walking around and seeing parts of London. But you can never forget that you're going to where people are murdered, and I just don't get it at all. I've never got the idea of that being something
weird, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're about to find out
I wonder what serial killers of today will be celebrated by walks in the future. It's weird, isn't it, that?
I mean, obviously Jack the Ripper was he the first
it's mass, the first mainstream, I think.
Mainstream, mass hyped. No, he's not hyped even, was it? It was a mass sort of hysteria, I suppose, for a serial killer. But the idea that people come and make money doing this walk, but this is where it all started, Henrique Street, where we've met.
So the notes I've got here for this, where Elizabeth Stride was found dying after sustaining wounds to her neck. On the night she discovered Jack the Ripper killed not just her, but another victim.
See?
Very hard-working murderer.
See, it's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird. What have you found, Tim? Is it another victim?
No, well, fortunately not. I love it though. Look, there's just
Jack strikes again.
And there's a pair of football boots there, and I mean, it's just, I don't know why I'm drawn to rubbish, but this is intriguing me.
What do you think of East London, Tim?
I like it. When I first moved to London, I was in West London, and it was where it was all at. I was hanging out in Ladbroke Grove, and the whole scene moved to East London, really. Because it was cheaper to live around here, and it's every time I come here I always think I wish I'd come more often, because it seems so exciting and vibrant. Yeah, I love it. It's really good.
The first time when I first moved to London, the first time I ever went out in West London, I went to Notting Hill, Notting Hill Arts Club, and I went in there, and the first night I've been out in Notting Hill Arts Club, Hugh Grant was at the bar having a drink. I was like, wow, this is just like the movies. Yeah.
Do you remember the first celebrity you ever saw?
What, in London or in anything?
In the world?
I once saw Jeff Hurst when I was a kid at some kind of football show that there was. I went to see some football show in Wembley Arena or Wembley Conference Centre or something, and Jeff Hurst was queuing up. Jeff Hurst had a little stall doing autographs. I thought, all right, I'll go and get his autograph. I mean, I don't particularly care about Jeff Hurst, not being an England fan. I thought I'll go along, because I've never really seen anyone famous before, I don't think. And so I went along to Jeff Hurst, and I must have been about 13 at the time. And I said, Jeff, can I get your autograph? And he was there at a table with like a pen and stuff like that. And I had a little think of him. He said, yeah, have you got a pen? I said, no, can we use yours? Because he'd been using this for so long. And he went, 3 things you need when you're getting an autograph is you need a pen, something to write on, and a famous person like me.
Did he do it for you?
He signed it, yeah.
Alright, that's cool. He's right though, isn't he?
He is right. And then when he came on Soccer AM,
yeah.
I remember this, he came on Soccer AM.
Yeah.
And we see that thing in the car park where an ex-pro would take a penalty.
Yeah.
And he, and I said to him beforehand, I said, Jeff, are you right or left footed? He went, both. I was like, okay, Jeff, which foot are you going to use to kick the ball this time? He went, right. I went, okay, fine, right.
That's a good way of being though, isn't it?
It is confidence. I mean, you scored a hat-trick in the World Cup final, you do what you like, can't you?
He's the only player to ever do that.
Yeah.
Pele's the only player to win 3 World Cups. Though in the second World Cup he won, I think in the first match he was injured, so he didn't really play in the tournament.
Oh, didn't he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. There you go.
So he's a cheat.
I'm not sure he's a cheat.
Overrated cheat.
He did collect a medal because he was in the squad and he played in it.
Yeah.
So, 3 times.
Fair enough.
The famous person I met was, I didn't meet him actually. I think this is really different. Celebrity used to be so huge back then, didn't it? Well, back then I'm old, but I was driving along. My mum and dad drove up to London, and we were driving along by Regent's Park, and a Rolls Royce pulled up next to us, and in it was Kenny Everett. Do you remember Kenny Everett? And I could not believe it. I was like, I've actually seen a celebrity. I can't imagine seeing a celebrity as exciting these days, is it? Because there are so many of them.
Well, I don't know. It depends where you live. If you live somewhere,
good point,
where they aren't.
Yeah, but what about reality? Isn't there
but
reality?
even then, there's still going to be places that there aren't a reality star. I bet there's no reality stars from.
Is there reality in Norwich?
Dudley. I don't know where Dudley is.
Midlands, yeah.
Maybe there are. Norwich, Norwich was quite a hotbed of YouTube superstars.
Yeah.
And you got a football team there, so you'd see people there. You needed to look at somewhere like, Wakefield, but they've got the Cribs. You've got to find a place that hasn't got a big football team.
What did Andy Warhol say about being famous?
It's misquoted, isn't it? A lot. It's like 15. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? What's the actual thing he said?
Well, what people say is they say that
everyone gets 15 minutes.
Everyone will get 15 minutes of fame, and what he didn't mind people misquoting him and saying that, but what he actually said is every 15 minutes someone will be famous. So I mean, both are pretty cool, but I think now every 15 minutes someone will be famous is more accurate. When I first started working in TV and I'd go to award ceremonies, there would be like a who's who of famous people. So it'd be your TV stars, your music stars, your comedians, and everything. And everyone was fascinated by them. Now, every time I go to an award ceremony, it's the reality stars that people are fascinated with, because they're the ones who are good paper fodder. So Daily Mail Online and stuff like that. So it's really weird. You see, like, someone will be taking. I don't watch a lot of those reality shows. I try and live my life, not other people's. But when you suddenly see everyone taking pictures and everyone getting really excited because someone's there, and you're like, who's that? And they're like, Only Wears Essex or Made in Chelsea or something. I don't watch them. Do you watch those?
No, my wife watches some of them. Actually, she doesn't watch those. She watches like Celebs Go Dating. She watches a lot of that. But a lot of the time, the celebs in them are just from other reality shows. So you just need to get in one, and then you become a celebrity and you go around all of them. Yeah, and then they try and break out. Do you know what? In fairness, it's good. It's a career move now. It never used to be, but now it is. And I don't. There's like someone like Rylan. He's great because he's like a TV presenter now. But he actually bothered to train to be a TV presenter, I think, and he's great at doing it. Some of them just turn up and do any old stuff. But good luck to him. If I was a young kid, I probably would have gone down that avenue, get myself on a reality TV show. Do you watch any of them at all? Have you ever watched any of them? I watched Love Island once. I watched a whole series, and I found it just took up a lot of my time, and it was really addictive. It's like TikTok, and I suddenly realised that I was, that thing I just said. I'm living other people's lives rather than living my own, and I don't want to do it. I'm also a bit worried. Can I be serious for a minute with you, Robbie? Yeah. I'm a bit worried about using love as a form of entertainment, because I think as humans we need shelter, we need food, we need water, and I think the other ingredient we really need is love, and that comes from families and obviously relationships too. And I know we've had things like blind date in the past, which is a good bit of fun, but I feel there might be I just sort of felt in a way, don't judge me on this, but I felt in a way that we're kind of torturing these people. We're throwing them in there and then manipulating their love, and they're sort of trying to fall in love with these people, and it just feels a bit. If there's a reality show and we were going to say, right, we're just going to take your food away from you,
and then you have to fight over food. I think everyone would go, that's a bit crass. I'm not sure we should be watching this. And if we said, right,
they sort of do that in that jungle one, don't they?
But everyone has their food taken away.
Yeah,
from them.
okay, yeah.
And we can dispute whether that's a good idea either. The way we're playing with humans in that way, but for our entertainment. But then if we said like, it's going to rain tonight, and there's one house here. It's only got one bed. And you're going to have to fight over it, and the rest of you are going to have to sit out in the cold. And by the way, the TV audience are going to watch you as you fail. It's kind of like, I don't know, I worry about the emotions these kids are going through. So I struggle with it a bit. I'm not sure we should be doing it.
Would you go, which of these big shows like Big Brother, I'm a Celebrity, Jungle One, would you go on any of them? Sort of thing. Which ones would you go on? Yeah, Strictly all these things. What would you do if you got asked?
Okay, the two biggest ones, Jungle and Strictly.
Yeah.
I really, be honest with you, I want to do them all, but because I've always looked at them and thought that looks fun, but I've never done any of them.
Yeah.
I did MasterChef.
Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it was all right. I enjoyed it. It was just fun. But, I mean, people were genuinely crying if they mucked up, and I was like, I couldn't quite get my head around it. I know that I'm bad for that, but I was like, we're just making food. I can't understand why you're crying over it. But I think with some of the people on it, it was their last chance of a career, and so they were desperately trying to get to the final to get some exposure, and I get that. I wanted to do the jump. There was one about
a skiing one.
Yeah, I so wanted to do that.
Well, like everyone got injured, didn't they?
Yeah, they talked to me about it, but I had to take time off Sunday brunch to do it. And I love presenting TV shows. I just love doing it, and so it's a weird one for me because I want to do my show and not take 4 or 5 weeks, 2 months off doing a TV show to do it. And I don't think people understand that when they approach me. They say, you just have to take 4 weeks off, to come every. And I'm not. I don't want to. I really enjoy doing my show. I get to 3 hours of, if real life was as good as presenting Sunday brunch, hey, there'd be no world problems, because it's good fun doing that. But I get to meet all those interesting celebrities, and I get to eat food, and I get to meet. I have to talk to people about interesting. Subjects as well, because we always get those interesting items. I get to drink some alcohol. It's a fantastic show, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. But yeah, I'd love to have done the jump. There was one about a circus years ago. I'd like to have done that.
I don't mind the idea of the ones where you're doing something like the dancing one, or these sort of things. But there's no way there's no money in the world that will get me to do the Big Brother or the Jungle one, something like that.
Why?
Because I'd hate Big Brother. I'd hate making people feel bad. We have to do like secret tasks, and for a bit you have to do something mean to someone.
See, I've always thought if they do that, why don't they just walk straight in and go, guys, I've been asked to do something really cruel to you so we can have some dinner, but I don't want to do that because I don't like being
but they
cruel.
might be starving, and then they're going to go, why can't you
so
just
you go, I'm not doing it, so none of us are getting dinner. Apologies, they've chosen the wrong guy. And just go, because I'm not a bad person, I couldn't do it to you, that's it, rather than
but then they might get annoyed at you for that reason. Either way, you're gonna annoy people.
No, but you've got to do what's right for your values, and that's what's important in life. You've got to always make sure you stick to your values. You've got to go to bed every night and go, was I a good person today? And do you know what? Not every day I go to bed and think I was a good person. Sometimes I think I made a mistake there, but generally I think my values are in the right place. And if your values are in the right place and you don't lie, you can go through life quite happily. So I think that's the important thing. But the Jungle, I just think would be good. The Big Brother, I don't think I could do that. You know what I'm like? I've got no patience. If I'm stuck in a room with people, it just looks too small. Have you ever been to the house?
No.
I've been there. It's so small, and everything looks bigger on TV, like Soccer M and all that. When people used to come to the studio and go, "Oh my God, it's so small," like they do. Remember? Yeah. Well, that's like the Big Brother house. You are stuck in a tiny little place. Yeah. It would drive you nuts. Whereas the Jungle, at least you couldn't. I've not been to the Jungle, so I don't know what it's like. But I suppose at least you can escape each other a bit and go down to the wherever it is, and they bath themselves or wash themselves. I always thought Johnny Rotten on that, John Lydon, was good, because he just sort of ignored all the campmates, did he start playing with the wildlife?
Not for me. But things like Strictly or things like that, I'd do that, have a little dance.
Yeah. I went down to watch Strictly with when Simon Rimmer was on it, and I have to say, it's so sad that the actual experience doesn't come across on TV as well as it is live. Live in the studio, the nerves, it's incredible. Could you just see, like, you see a pro dancer and a celebrity get up and they do their stuff. When you're actually there, you see them come on, and while they're doing the little film of how they were that week and stuff, you can see them, they're all trying to catch their breath and stuff. They're about to perform. It's just the atmosphere in there. It's like a genuine sporting event. I went down, I think, 3 times. It was amazing watching it happening live, and it's I mean, the talent of some of these people when they actually, when they start dancing after week 2 or 3. I mean, Alexandra Burke was on the week I was on. She moved so fast. I mean, she was as good as the pros. At one stage she was doing, I don't know what dance she was doing, but it was really quick. I thought, God, she could have had my eye out. She was just like, around the thing. I was going, wow, that is impressive stuff.
Yeah. Right, Tim, we're at our next murder spot. This is Durwood Street. On the 31st of August, Jack the Ripper's first victim was discovered here on Durwood Street. Her name was Mary Ann Nichols and her throat had been cut. It's unknown where the murder took place, as it's reported there was not much blood present at the scene.
I don't understand the idea. I suppose the man who comes and tells you all the stories has got some in-depth knowledge
should have brought him along.
of what London was like. I'm sure the guy who does the walk doesn't just talk about the murders like you're doing.
Yeah.
You're a rubbish guy because you're only doing the murders. You need to give me a bit of colour. What's going on in London at the time? What's happening? You need to paint some pictures for me, Robbie.
This feels a bit like when I was a kid. I was learning. When I was like about 9 or 10, I was learning about the Battle of Hastings.
Yeah.
And we went on a family trip to Hastings, to the field where the battle was. And I was sort of looking around, thinking I might see an arrow or something on the ground, but there wasn't. It was just grass.
Just grass.
Yeah, it wasn't much to see. It was just a field. I've seen a field before.
Yeah. Well, so far I'm not recommending this walk, but it might be my tour guide, Robbie.
Yeah.
When I said to you, can we go on a walk and do the Ripper, Jack the Ripper tour? I was hoping you'd come.
Some facts. I've just got the thing that you emailed me about the walk and really.
I thought you might come and go, like, Tim, here we go, and I thought you might have done some research. You're my host.
I thought you might have done that. Do you know what I've started doing this week on a subject of mobility? Or about a week ago, I started doing stretching every morning. Because I've always had really tight hamstrings, so like this is as close as I can get to touching my toes.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
But this is after. But a week ago, it'd been back here. I think I've got so much. Like I'm not that far off now. So every morning I've been doing this. It's called like posterior chain. Because apparently it's not enough.
Just point out, look at me coming straight down. Look at me, I can touch my toes.
I'm not that far. You watch, right? I'm not that far. Come on, Robbie.
If we didn't have social distancing, I could get on your back and just lean you in.
Just tear my calves.
Breathe into it. Go on. What's your stretching routine?
So it's like posterior chain. Right. It is, and it's like 12 minutes routine. I just watched some YouTube video. It's only got 900 views. This YouTube video. I'll put a link down below. And I've been doing this every morning for like a week, and it feels like I've been, from like the waist down, I've been oiled after I do it. Like everything, I just feel a bit floppy, like I'm a bit more mobile.
What sort of things they get you to do?
So I'll go through it all now. So you start off with like just this, minute of that each side. So one of one leg, then on the other. Then you're into your pigeon hold. So it's harder in jeans.
Yeah.
You're like that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll turn the other leg, and then
then
you're doing a child's pose. So you've got that one.
Yeah.
Then you've got your straddle. So you're like, there's an angle for you.
Yeah.
You've got that one.
Nice.
Then you've got that thing.
Yeah.
And then that.
Yeah, nice.
So it's like the ones that are each leg, you do a minute of each leg, and the other ones are like 2 minutes. But because it's all the different things, so apparently people think they've got tight hamstrings, but it's also could be the lower back muscles as well, and it's different things. So if you target all
when
those.
Do you do it?
When do I do it?
Yeah.
When I first wake up.
Right. What do you do at 8:30 every night?
What do I do at 8:30?
Yeah.
It varies.
Do you generally what do you do in the evening for entertainment? Watch TV?
So, well, a couple of nights a week I'm streaming at that time, and then probably watch TV or something. Kids are going to bed about 8:30.
Box sets.
Netflix normally.
Because you know about habits. You know life's all about habits, getting good habits and stuff. I ask those questions because at 8:30 every night, my alarm goes off on my phone. It says, Tim, time to stretch.
Oh.
And I watch TV. Say I'm watching TV or listening to a podcast or even doing a bit of reading. It's like I go through a few stretches at 8:30 every night. Another good tip for you is at 8 o'clock every night or just before that, brush your teeth. And then once you brush your teeth, you don't snack the rest of the night.
That's a good idea, that.
Oh, it's a brilliant idea. And it's really hard to, once you brush your teeth, for something in your brain goes, I don't eat anymore because I brushed my teeth.
Yeah.
It's really, you don't even think about it. And then whatever else you do after that is kind of like, you just think, oh, I've brushed my teeth, I can't eat now. And it just stops you
It's a
eating.
great life hack, because I do that sometimes I'll brush my teeth with my kids.
That's
so
exactly
the older
what I
ones,
do.
I'll go up at like 8 o'clock,
Yeah.
and I go up, I brush my teeth when I'm here. And then you're
you
right, you
stop
don't eat
eating.
afterwards.
You stop eating. But the stretching things, I'm obsessed with David Goggins. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Ultra.
I've just got his book, I haven't read it yet.
Oh, it's amazing. You'll love it. Ultra athlete, but he stretches for 2 hours a day.
It's quite a lot.
I can't remember which athlete it is, and they said, and they asked his wife, what's he doing when he's not training, and she said stretching. And it's like, and I always thought that in lockdown, the one thing, because bizarrely you do that, I can now touch my toes quite readily, but I've always thought in lockdown, if there's something you can learn, right? Everyone's going, oh, I'm going to learn Russian, I'm going to learn how to play guitar, I'm going to learn how to juggle or something. I thought, why not do something which is really useful for your life? Learning Russian's great if you're going to start going to Moscow or somewhere, or St. Petersburg and setting up a business, or you're going to go out there and explore. But there's no point in speaking Russian if you're going to sit in London or wherever you live for the rest of your life. But there's always room to do some stretching. And they say, like, if you do half an hour a day of French, you'll learn French. Well, if you do half an hour of stretching every day, you could extend the mobility on your life. I'm sounding like a real self-help guru.
No, I'm on board. I'm on board.
You can extend the mobility of your life for years to come. And I think I definitely got to a stage where I was like you and couldn't touch my toes and thought, this is ridiculous. You get one body. Like, the most stupid thing in the world is not to look after your body because you've got one girder.
Yeah, I'm at the age now where people who haven't made any effort to look after themselves are going to pot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, people who have just not made any effort, like I've started to get health problems and stuff like that. Whereas an athlete like myself is absolutely fine.
But I get to cheat because I get to see myself every day on TV. Not every day, every once a week. I get to see myself on TV, so I get to, that thing where you look over, you've been on TV, Robbie, you're an old pro at this, you do your YouTube channel, everything else. You get to look at yourself in the monitor every now and then, or you're editing your YouTube channel stuff, and you go, oh my God, look at me, look, I've put on a bit of weight, or I've done this, and it's then very easy to start going, I need to do something about this. Whereas I think a lot of people are not analysing or scrutinising their body as much. They're probably looking in the mirror every day to shave or to brush their hair, put their makeup on or whatever, but they're not probably getting a good look at the way they're moving every day.
Do you know what I've got? I've got Wi-Fi scales that connect up automatically. So when I step on them, it then automatically saves all the data in an app. So I've got like years of weight graphs of how my weight's changed. And it's just automatic. I just do it most mornings. I'll just step on these scales. You can see how you've gone on that. Really, I love data.
How's it been?
It's been good. Yeah. So generally, I've gone down pretty much every year for the last 5 years. I've gone to more healthy weight. Not quite there yet, but we're working on it.
Are you still doing military training?
No, I did that for a bit. Then I went and did CrossFit for quite a bit, and now I don't. Well, no one's doing anything. But I found when I was doing CrossFit, I found before then, I wasn't like an old man, but when I got on the floor to play with the kids, getting up was a bit of an effort. So that's what I started doing that, and it was like a bit more Or spring my step.
My personality doesn't suit data.
Doesn't it?
No, I've tried it a few times, but my personality is one that I try and beat stuff. So if I get a sleep app, which I have had, I then try and every night get better sleep, and I get frustrated if I can't. So then it starts taking me over a bit. And so if I'm doing a timer on a run, every time I try and beat it, I downloaded one of those bank apps. It was a bank account where they analysed the hell out of everything you spent, and I eventually started spending nothing to prove that I didn't need to spend any money. And then I wasn't enjoying myself because every time I went to spend something, I would think,
oh, the app's going to have a go at me.
Yeah, or no, I can beat this. I can spend less this today. And I was ending up... So I've got this personality which is always trying to beat the data. And so it's me versus data. So if I turn it all off, then I don't have to worry about it too much. Do you remember that time we decided to fast in Soccer AM?
Yeah, why are we doing that?
A challenge, just mad.
We did a lot of weird things. Do you remember when you got us to do Kung Fu? At lunchtime, yeah, you haven't got me from finish. You got some bloke in to teach us Kung Fu every lunchtime for about a month, and then we just stopped.
We just stopped, didn't we?
Yeah.
I learnt one thing off that.
What did you learn?
You look at the eye and kick down to the knee.
I didn't.
And you kick from here. You kick sideways like that.
The thing I learned from that is the warm up, just the height that I do quite like now. Just kicking one leg up, the other leg up like that.
You look in the eye and kick down to the knee, because if you hit the knee, but you kick from the side. That's what we learned. So you're not kicking like that, you're kicking like that.
I did a little bit of karate at uni. A friend got into karate, said, do you want to come along? So I went along, and there's this guy who ran it, this guy called Jason, and he was so hard. He was like the karate teacher, like that. And so occasionally we go out to drinks with him, we're thinking, I hope someone tries to fight us now. But not that anyone would, because you're in Norwich, no one really fights.
I hope someone wants to fight.
Yeah, because I wanted Jason to then beat them all up. It'd be exciting. But I remember him, he was teaching us this thing where you grab someone's head and basically knee them in the face. He said, and he said, yeah, he goes, I've only really had to do that once in real life. And we were like, what? He said, why did you have to knee someone in the head, Jason? And he went, oh, because I was in a corner shop and I couldn't get my kick off. I was like, no, that wasn't what I meant. I didn't mean why did you have to pick that move? And what was the build up to the fact you knee someone in the head? Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Don't know the answer.
How do you think you'd fare in a fight? This is
never had a fight,
isn't it?
I think I'd be very good at it.
No, I always think about that when I love to have learnt a martial art. There's a lot of things in my life. I'd love to have learnt a musical instrument, and I'd love to have learnt. That's going to be annoying, isn't it, that noise? I'd love to learn a musical instrument. I'd love to have learnt a martial art. Two things and a foreign language. The three things that I really wanted to learn. And I haven't learned any of them, and I sort of regret it sometimes, but then maybe they weren't a big enough pull for me. But with the martial arts one, I was like, how many fights have I realistically got into? None.
Yeah.
So I'm only doing for fitness. I like running, I like football, I liked all those things. So I was still doing my fitness, and I swim a lot now, and when the pools are open. So I suppose I'm doing stuff. Simon Rimmer went to me the other day, I'd love to play the keyboard, and I said, I'd love to learn the keyboard. And I said, well, you can then, just do it, just play it. And he goes, no, but I'd love to be able to do it. And I said, well, you can. Like you would be able to do it. You just got to dedicate your time to it. It's not that you can't do it. It's you're choosing not to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the reality. If you want to do anything, you can put your mind to it. I mean, there's people out there with like. Have you seen the woman who plays the violin without an arm?
No.
She holds the violin with that hand, and she has the bow attached to her shoulder, and she bows like that with her shoulder. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I know isn't there a great guitarist with only two fingers or something?
I don't know, not sure. Well, there's a drummer with one arm.
Drummer with one arm.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So you're sitting there. It's only your problem that you can't do these things. Anyone can learn a foreign language. I imagine you just got to dedicate yourself to it. And can you speak one?
I can order in a restaurant in French.
Go on then.
That's about it. Bonjour, monsieur. Je voudrais un bière, s'il vous plaît.
Don't really.
I don't always
sound. It didn't sound that French.
No, and I don't. I always forget which things are boys and which things are girls in France. Like croissants, are they boys or girls? And
It's weird, though, isn't it?
it's weird.
That they've got genders on their words.
Yeah, not very modern day, is it?
Yeah, I wonder why we don't.
I don't know. My brother would know. You know, my brother's TikTok famous now.
Is he?
Yeah, he's got like 600,000 followers on TikTok.
What, for dancing?
No, for teaching English.
That's good.
He's like become an expert in like the English language and stuff.
Do you ever go on TikTok?
I've been on a few times, it can't be asked.
My problem with TikTok, it's the same as Reels, is it's too addictive. My brain likes watching people dance
Yeah.
to 30 seconds, not even that, 15, 20 seconds. And I like it when there's groups of people doing a shuffle or doing some form of dancing. And so I find that I go dum, 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 dum. Next thing you know, it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, and I've achieved nothing in my life apart from sitting watching some people dance. And so I stopped myself from watching Reels, and I got rid of TikTok off my phone so that I couldn't do it. And I think we need to do more of that. I think that's the key to the future, is to educate everyone to have less on their phones and watch less stuff.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of stuff. I'm quite good at it, I think. I'm quite good at just doing stuff instead of consuming stuff.
Am I basically telling your viewers to stop watching this?
Well, I mean, I think they've probably already done that. Do you reckon you have to because these people are like just graffitiing?
Yeah.
Do you reckon these days are there special places you know you can graffiti and you just do it, or do you reckon you can just graffiti anywhere? Or do you know what I mean? If you do it someplace, you get in trouble.
I assume by the fact that it's the middle of the day and they're not hiding, they're allowed to graffiti this wall. Their work is so impressive, isn't it? I mean, it really is. Look at this. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think they're allowed to do it?
Yeah, I reckon. It's nice, isn't it? Are you good at sleeping?
Am I good at sleeping? I do it every day, every night.
But I'm not good at. I'm good at napping, but I'm not good at getting a good night's sleep
Why?
because I wake up too early. I'm very good at going to sleep. I go to sleep like that, but I'll then wake up. Like I woke up at 5 this morning.
Why?
I just do. I don't know. I always have. I've never slept that much. But I listened to a great podcast. It was on the Diary of a CEO. I was listening to the other day, and there was a sleep expert. I can't remember her name. I'll put a link in the description. But she was talking about the advice for sleep. It was brilliant. She was saying like all this, like people focus on the wrong things, like saying go to bed at a certain time. She goes, that's nonsense. That's the worst. The worst thing you do is go to bed when you're not tired. She says what you want to do is get up at the same time. So and then your body will, when you've got that routine, your body will tell you when you're tired. When you start yawning and getting a bit sleepy, then go to bed. But if you don't feel sleepy, just stay up. Because you're better off go to bed later, getting 4 hours of good sleep when you need it, rather than having a bad bit.
So I've interviewed a sleep specialist, Professor Mia Krieger, and on my podcast. Do you know I've got a podcast?
I do. We'll mention it now. We'll mention it now.
Yeah, I've got a podcast, and I interview really interesting people like Professor Mia Krieger. It's sponsored by Cooker, 100 degree boiling hot water.
All right. No brand deals on here that aren't coming through me.
Why can't I get like if I'm here on your YouTube channel? I might as well like.
All right,
milk
tell
it.
us about Cooker.
Yeah, 100 degree boiling hot water straight from your kitchen tap. Mine does, your normal hot water, your normal cold water.
Yeah.
It does 100 degree boiling hot water, so you just make vegetables, your brews, whatever. It does a chilled filtered water and chilled sparkling water. It's great, and it saves money. You don't have to waste money on bottled water.
That does feel really good, because sometimes I want a nice cold water, because I'm already keeping. I really look cool in my t-shirt from RobbieKnoxMerch.com, so I want to have a nice drink to match.
This doesn't make the cut, I'll be furious.
It'll be.
Because I want the ready.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Mia Krieger came on my podcast, and he said that every human being needs between 7 and 9 hours sleep a night, and that he said he's never met anyone yet who can
listened to that podcast.
who can survive on less than that. So you've got to be careful with that. It's not only experts I have on my podcast, though. I also have celebrities on this month, I've got Denise Van Outen, she's coming up, Ricky Wilson's coming up, Don Letts is coming up. And this month it's sponsored by Baroni, which is pasta. It's frozen pasta, but you just put it in a pan and heat it up for 30 seconds, add the sauce, and there you go. You've got
30
delicious...
seconds?
30 seconds, because it's frozen pasta, it's already cooked. That is delicious Baroni pasta. Get on it if you can.
What's defrosting in 30 seconds?
It's not what? It's in boiling hot water. It's pasta. You put it in boiling hot water.
But it's frozen.
I promise you, it's the best Baroni pasta. It is the greatest pasta ever.
Have you got to kick some out of your pocket to show? Right, Tim, we're at our next bit here. Do you want me to read this about it? This is Fournier Street. This street is home to some amazingly photogenic old houses that have been well preserved and restored.
They are.
In what used to be the poorest area of London, these now sell for many millions of pounds. There's no murder.
Oh, so why are we here then?
I don't know, it's on the murder thing, it's just showing us some nice houses. This walk's been rubbish. Like, I mean, It's been nice, but we've not seen any murder. No one's been murdered.
Thankfully, we didn't see any murder.
But there's no, like, plaques, there's no... I'm a little disappointed. I mean, they're nice houses, but we've come on the murder tour. Like, the fourth one hasn't even got a murder.
Though I'm glad I've done it, because it's always one of those things that you're looking at and you think, oh, I wonder if that would be good.
But it's not.
So when you go on something, you go, actually, it's not that good. It's not. Look, as I say, if we were the historian, it might be a little bit different, because they might be telling us more of the history of the streets. I assume, by the way, that all the roads would be really tight. Like,
little corners you can murder in.
Like round Pudding Lane and stuff, where they're tight and they're cobbled. I thought it would be like that, and you'd be like, oh, this is where, a murder happened. But no, but I'm glad we've done it, because now I know that I didn't really miss out in my life for doing it, and it's just another. It's another box we've ticked in life's rich tapestry.
Something off the bucket list. Right.
It's never on my bucket list. I don't have a bucket list, but it's never on my bucket list.
Oh.
But I've enjoyed Do you know what I've enjoyed, Robbie? I've enjoyed walking with you.
Yeah, it's been really lovely. I've enjoyed walking with you as well. But thank you for the walk. All good things like this walk must come to an end. And so we're going to go our separate ways now. If you've enjoyed Tim, then you can watch him on the television on Sunday Brunch. You can listen to his podcast, sponsored by Cooker and some pasta.
100-degree boiling hot water straight from your kitchen tap.
Yeah, marvellous. I'll put links down below. Back next week with another walk, I think, with Chi with a C. That's exciting. Let's go away. I'm just going to walk past the camera now and pretend. I'm holding it, so I have to just stand here.
I'm walking now.
Right. Yeah, we're done now. You can go home.